Do this. I have been in a space of pause for several months. And for me, that space of pause came from a thought process or belief that there's something missing. There's a disconnect with regards to my communication, my voice, and it being translated or received by the women that I serve in the work that I do. And so while I was reflecting on that, I was and thinking about the women that I serve, the word that came up from that is seeking. And so I want you to understand, if you have found yourself here, you are not lost. You are not in crisis, despite how that could feel within you. You are in a space of seeking. It's deliberate, it's careful, because you have been here within the space of health and wellness before, and it did not work. The wellness space does have a problem. There's a lot of information. There's also a lot of misinformation, a lot of appropriation, a lot of dilution. What gets put forward as wellness has, in too many cases, been whitewashed. And so disconnected from women who need it most. And so the distrust you carry is not irrational. It is earned. And yet you're still here in the space of seeking. You're still looking because something in you knows the answers exist, even if you have not found them in the right form yet. You are still functioning, showing up at your work, in your business, in your family, in your community. From the outside, you have an appearance, or you give off a idea or premise that you are handling things. That is a known fact with regards to Black women, Indigenous women of color. But even though that's what it is on the outside, there's a cost. And there is also a small seed. Not that it's paralyzing you, it's not stopping you from doing what you have to do. However, it is influencing your choices quietly because you have been burned before. Your lived experience is evidence. You have overpaid someone and not gotten the results you were looking for. Been there, done that. You have been handed information that probably was overwhelming and not personalized to your actual life. You have been told that what you need is probably an overhaul, and you already know that it's not feasible for the life you're living and the roles you're holding. So that seed of fear is real. It is not a corrective flaw. It is not a weakness. It is data, information. Your system is telling you to move carefully because the last times that you trusted something in the space of health and wellness, it costed you. And so here is what else is happening, I should say, at the same time. Your body is communicating to you. It's gradually, it's consistently, that tiredness that does not fully resolve, the aches that were not there before, the inconsistency in your joy, the spaces where you used to show up fully and you're noticing now that you cannot quite get there the same way. Yeah. None of these feel like an emergency that will send you to a hospital bed in the emergency room, but it is taking from you. It is depleting you. It's taking from your time. It's taking from your energy. It's taking from your peace. It's taking from moments where you used to feel like yourself. You are getting fractional relief from things that used to work. For example, like a workout that helps for a day, something that softens the symptom temporarily, a wellness approach that gives you a window of feeling better, but you're not getting there on a larger, consistent scale. And you know it. You feel the gap between what you're experiencing and what you are built for. And this is where coping mechanisms come into play. Now, here's a part I want you to sit with and understand that this is not coming from a place of shaming. You were the cause of your dis-ease, not because you did something wrong, not because you chose this, because your habits, your beliefs, your behaviors, your value systems the unconscious rules you have built your life around are influencing your internal environment. What lives internally eventually shows up externally. Those things that are intangible are now showing up tangibly. Your body's trying to communicate that. A lot of this was learned, conditioned, shaped by lived experience that your system translated into rules unknowingly, unintentionally, without any desire to harm yourself. These patterns formed because that is what navigating your world required. And without checks and balances, without the space to examine those patterns and determine which ones still serve you and which ones do not, the internal environment gets dysregulated. And when the internal environment is dysregulated, your body starts communicating. Not mystically, although that may be applicable in some aspects, not symbolically, but mechanically, through symptoms, fatigue, the gradual erosion of things that used to feel easy. This is not a diet problem. It's not a fitness problem, in silo especially. It is a pattern problem, and patterns can be read, understood, and redesigned. What I want you to know about this space, about working with me, is that this is a conversation, not a lecture, not a curriculum, not a system handed to you that you are expected to follow without question. A conversation. And in that conversation, some things are going to surface for you that are uncomfortable. Not because discomfort is the goal, of course not, but because the patterns running in the background of your life on a subconscious level have not been examined out loud yet. That examination has a texture to it, and I'm not going to sit here and pretend otherwise with you. So understand that this is a space where I show up with my voice, with my clinical knowing. That knowing is what connects. That is what builds the bond. That is what creates a space where you can be in community with other women doing the same work on themselves and still remain yourself in the doing of it, not becoming someone else. Yourself with more access to yourself. And so what I bring to that conversation is clinical precision, the ability to read what the system is doing and naming it clearly so that what has felt vague, confusing, or out of your control starts to have a frame around it. That frame is not a diagnosis. It is a starting point for understanding what is actually happening and why. So here you're not going to be fixed. You're being seen specifically and worked with from exactly where you are. This space is built for that process with precision, with challenge, without shame, with community, so you are not doing it alone. If you found your way here, you are in that space of seeking, and the seeking itself is the signal. Your senses are accurate. Your body is not broken. It is communicating clearly, consistently, and it is absolutely worth paying attention to. And so, welcome to Noyan Worldwide. My name is Danielle Isaac Lewis, and I am your clinical translator. And welcome to the space where, again, like I said, you are seen, you are heard, you are understood, and you get to show up as yourself as you develop yourself. Welcome.